Don't come out to practice on that day. All right.
All right, questions for Coach?
How many plays you guys get in?
Okay, so we did individual. We did 9 on 7, 7 on 7. So probably 40 plays there. Then we did 2-minute before the half. Then we went live scrimmage, and I think we got to 120. We got 40 for each. So probably in all, probably had about 200 plays a day, but the live part was about 120. I think that's right.
Did you rest in the big scrimmage today? Did you play the veteran guys?
Yeah. I just want to be careful. I don't want to say the word rest because to me that sounds soft. I'm just not practicing those guys. And again, it's not – some of the other guys are like, why am I practicing? It's just the amount of reps they have, right, if they have game reps at their position. So I did not do, Tommy Hill GIF. Did not do I'm sorry, Nash and Ty. Did not do did not do no Banks. I scrimmage Banks today. Scrimmage Fedoni today. Did not do Ben Scott and Ben Hart. So held some of those guys, and then some guys like maybe like Jamari. Some of those guys who played a lot of football. They got 15 to 18. MJ got 15 to 18. But for the most part, we wanted to get most guys between 20 and 40.
Coach, how did you do from a turnover perspective? Similar successes during the first scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean, this was the most dominant day we've had on offense ever. I mean, this is the first time we've ever at practice. I mean, the first time ever, I don't know, might have been 8, 9, 10, 12 touchdowns out there today. So explosive plays, big plays. I think we had one fumble late, with the threes. But I thought the ball was protected. Now, in all fairness, we're not hitting the quarterback, and I'm letting a lot of plays extend. So we might go back and say, well, that would have been a sack. I don't want to sound the alarm. It's just, the ability to throw and catch the ball, and guys making plays after the catch has been good. We didn't run the ball. We had one long explosive run, but on offense, by far the best day we've ever had since I've been here.
How did the quarterbacks play a role in that? How did they perform?
I thought all 3 quarterbacks played really well. I'd like to watch the tape to be able to talk about specifics, but we started with the ball on the -1 with the ones and had a 99-yard drive. We had some long drives that the quarterbacks excelled at taking what was there, getting out of the headset's it's transformational. It's transformational what you can do. So we have guys who are used to doing that, and Sat and Glenn and Garrett. So I thought the quarterbacks all played really well, but again, with young quarterbacks, I have to go back and watch tape, but we'd run around the pocket with one hand on the ball, and then we get in the game in the season, and all of a sudden those are going to be fumbles, right? Again, talking about limiting the lowlights. When you can't hit the quarterback, it's hard to tell. But a lot of really good things.
When you're in a quarterback race, how long does it take for one of those players to become evidently the best of the group?
Yeah, I think.
How long have you had to go in your career where it did become clear right away?
Yeah, I prefer to have it go because, again, I think one of the biggest things that you have to see is how quarterbacks handle frustration. So for instance, at Baylor, Charlie Brewer was a starter my first year after game 4, and the next year I rotated him with a transfer quarterback. And, he was the greatest quarterback parents ever. Never called me, never questioned me, never. And in the end, then in the end, he kind of was clear he was the starter. He became the starter the rest of the year. That took us to a bowl game. Was a bowl game MVP. The next year, takes us to the Sugar Bowl. Takes us to the Big 12 championship. If a quarterback never has a bad day, or he has simulated bad days, so he might have a bad day at practice. But if they know they're the starter, I want them to have to fight for it and earn it. And so I heard Eric Spoelstra. There's a thing he was talking to guys in the locker room getting into the playoffs. He's like, how much he values, things that you can't buy and things that you have to earn. And I just like that concept. So I want the quarterbacks to feel like they have the race, and all of a sudden I want the other guy to come along and try to challenge him. I think it'll elevate all of us. And then when we know, we know. But I wouldn't anticipate us saying, hey, this guy is the starter like today, because I thought all 3 quarterbacks went out there today and said, hey, I can be the starter. And that's my challenge to the players is don't worry about where you stand at all positions. Don't worry about how much opportunities you're getting. Just worry about what the tape looks like. Do you look like a Big Ten winning quarterback? Do you look like a Big Ten winning left tackle? Do you look like a Big Ten winning D tackle? And if you do, your time will come. So that's a long, very philosophical answer. But I would say it would take a while because I just think there's so many guys doing good things. I want to give them a fair shot.
Tony expressed
dissatisfaction with the defense last Saturday? Is there how would you assess the defense today in the context of the first round?
Yeah, I didn't say that loud. Tony made that up. I don't know where he's coming from. I yelled at everyone. So I yelled at everyone in the middle of the scrimmage last week because I felt like, you walk out in the stadium and there's no one in the stands really. It's dead. There's no energy. And all great teams, to quote Andy Reid, have to do a couple of things, but one of them, they have to create their own energy. And so I just didn't feel the energy from the whole team. So I didn't yell at the defense. The defense dominated the offense last week. The offense had a couple good things. But when I watched the tape, I challenged the defensive staff. Are we playing hard enough, or are we satisfied with the result? Like we want to be processed. Like, hey, are we playing hard enough? And then I challenged the offense. Hey, are we playing hard enough? So I just went back to the guys. Like, what caused us to lose last year? 31 turnovers, and only taking the ball away 14 times. What caused us to lose last year? Big play. So don't, because we're winning the scrimmage, get caught up in the result. Look at the effort. That being said, today the offense got after the defense. It looked like. I'll probably go back in and probably on Tuesday say, I was a little closer than I realized. Again, there's a lot of good players not playing, but as I said to them, like, I don't think that way. I don't think that way. I don't like, I think like you're out there playing. You're a Husker, but it better be competitive and it better be physical. And before John Bullock was a starter, he was a 3 and then a 2, and then so I'm looking for other guys to make that ascension. So I can't wait to watch this film to see where guys truly are. But we're really hard to play against on defense. So I think the offense is just really getting a rhythm of like, hey, these are the things we like against it. And Tony's brilliant. He will come out next week and he'll have some other things, and we'll see how it goes.
Coach, you mentioned that Banks didn't play in last week's scrimmage, whereas he did this week. Do you think he had an impact on the success and how positive of the day it was?
I don't know how much production he had. I have to go back and really see that. But I mean, Jamal's great just to have out there. I played him a little bit early because we were down in the red zone. He's a big receiving threat, adds a physical presence. So, you have him and Naor out there, those two really big physical men, right? Yeah, and Malachi, when he's healthy, man, we have some dynamic players, and we have some big physical players who are also dynamic. So, the impact of Jamal today, I'd be remiss if I started talking about everything he did. But he certainly makes an impact when he's out there because he's a guy that can convert third downs and can make a ton of plays.
To the quarterbacks for a second, just how have you seen them adjust to the in-helmet communication?
Well, for the two freshmen, it's all they know, right? So it's like they're kind of like, okay, this is what it is. We've been doing it nonstop all training camp, and interestingly enough, we did it some last year in the spring. So that's a Lincoln-based company that does the NFL, and so we have it. So we used it last spring, and with the hopes that this was going to pass, and it's really, really, I think really, really powerful. What I really like about Amy is what people wouldn't think about is all the quarterbacks are hearing what's being said to the starting quarterback the entire practice. Does that make sense? So, if I get 20 reps, I don't just take my helmet off now and sit there for 20 reps and kind of watch. Like, I have the helmet on. I hear the coach, and he's saying, "Hey, we're running da 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 da. Hey, if you get man here, go. Don't be afraid to go to this." And so they're getting all these mental reps, and I'm hearing it now, so I can hear what's being said. So I think they're adjusting really well. I think it's going to be a tool for a lot of people, but I think it'll be a really good tool for us. I think it's pretty useless on defense. It was misapplied on defense.
With Harburg in particular, having seen him last year actually, as opposed to the true freshman, what would you say are the jumps, or have you seen him take some steps this spring compared?
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I'll try very hard not to do
you off.
that. No, shoot on. I think Heinrich, his progressions and his just development as a passer is like light years ahead of where it was. I mean, Heinrich can go out there and run, the zone read and the QB power and just, win games for us. But I think his development as a passer, his development in the protections, I think, year 2 of hearing the same play calls, though there are some that are different, right? But the base genesis of what we're doing is a lot of it's the same. I think you just see a guy that's way more comfortable. And, if you remember last year, they were splitting 4 reps, right? Now that's 3 reps, right? And then we're getting more reps this year than we got last year. So with reps, I think, he continues to get better.
On the helmet communication, so are you done doing signals on the sidelines so there won't be any more of that going on during games?
I'm not saying anything out loud of what we're doing. I think you'll see most teams continue to signal. You have to signal on defense. See, I've talked to some coaches around the country, and because there's in the NFL, you only have 48 guys active on game day, right? So You can't really. It's hard to go chip. Went no huddle, but not many people are going to go fast no huddle the whole game. So you can have one headset, right? And that guy signals the defense to everybody, and you're in the huddle most of the game. And then when it goes 2 minute, they signal from the sidelines most times. Well, what I think you're going to see people do in college now is go even faster because they know the defense has to signal, right? So one guy can't get the play call and tell it to 10 other guys while they're going in 12 seconds. It's impossible. So in the bowl games, when they experimented with it, a lot of teams had they let everyone have a headset, or a lot of teams had 3. So one secondary guy, one linebacker, one D lineman. That didn't pass, and I'm not complaining about it. It's one guy's got it, but we would only really use that. So we'll still signal on defense. We'll have to. And then on offense, I think you'll see a lot of people going even faster. So they'll probably still signal from the sideline. What we do, we'll probably do a little mixture.
When does it cut off? And like when you're talking to the quarterback, how late can you go?
15. Yeah.
On the play clock.
Yep, 15 on the play clock.
So when they're walking up, when you see a look, you can still talk to them.
Yep,
As they're
yep.
getting up there, hey, look at this guy, look at that guy.
Yeah, and I don't, I think it's documented, like when the Rams had Jared Goff early on, Sean McVay, they would just constantly play at the line of scrimmage, and up until 15 seconds, like he would be telling them what to do, and then defenses started waiting, showing one thing, and then 15 seconds running to a different defense. So there's going to be a lot of chess to this. You can only have one green dot on the field at a time. So there's Jay Terry's going to be losing his mind on the sidelines, right? Elite equipment manager. Let me say this, one of the best. But it's hard on those guys because, to give me an example, I am the starting linebacker. Let's say I have the green dot. You're the backup middle linebacker. So when I'm out and you're in, you have to have the green dot. But we play together on punt team. So you have to have a hot helmet without the dot. The green dot's the guy who has the microphone in it. So you can only have one on the field at a time. So you have to have one helmet. And then all of a sudden, I get hurt, and you got to go running in the game. You're like throwing your helmet, getting the other helmet, running in the game. It's chaos. But it's good. It's kind of fun. We dealt with it in the NFL, and I'm so happy that it passed because it's absolutely what should be happening in football. We're trying to get used to today we practiced the tablets with the video on them. We didn't have that in the NFL. We just had still pictures. Like the officials, like they said to me, like, remember now, you can't show it to us. Hey, look at this. The Mike Dick or whatever did that. So, but again, I think that's so fair because I come in sometimes and you guys will ask me a question, Coach, what happened on this play? And you have to understand, you guys are in the press box or someone's at home, and they're seeing the replay 10 times, right? And some, the announcer's like, you see here, and everyone knows what happened on the play except for me. I literally look up at the scoreboard, hope they get a glimpse of it, and then we're into the next play. So at least now, for things that we're being held accountable for, and we're going to end up, trending on Twitter and being on the bottom line for, at least now we can go look at the thing and say, oh, this is what happened. Okay, let's fix it. So I think the football product will be even better now that we have the in-game video.
How can you get a little bit better on third down defense, and what are maybe the hallmarks of the good third down defenses you've had in your career?
Yeah, so third down defense, to me, if everything's pressure, you're never going to be great. You have to have the ability to rush with 4, and you have to have the ability to third and 3 to 6. You have to be able to play man. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to line up and play man, and you can't have a guy that Wisconsin put Spalding at number 3, or I think it's his name, and he kept winning on option routes. You have to have the ability to play man versus all the bunches and stacks, and then when you get to longer yardage, have the ability to rush 4 and get home. And one of the things in the Big Ten, at least last year, you had Tanner Mordecai, you had all these guys who could get out of the pocket and run, so you have to defend that too. So it's getting great rushers who are also disciplined enough to keep guys in the pocket, the ability to play man, and then still have the pressure package. Like Tony's always going to create chaos, but on 3rd and 7, and if you look back to last year, like halfway through the year, saying we weren't doing great, and then we got ourselves down even lower. We have to make like an 8% jump. I think we're like at 38 in that range. We've got to get down into like the 20s, like the high 20s, to be a dominant defense. I'm more of the, I just want to be great on 3rd and 7+. That's the ones that kill you to me, because then people think they can do it. Like 3rd and 7+ against us, I want to have such an elite pass rush that people just say, you know what, check the ball down, run the ball, don't get a sack fumble. That's the evolution. And then the final thing is just getting people in third down more. We look a lot at the number. I'll also point out to our guys, great defenses, they're in third down 20 sometimes a game. Great offense, bad defenses, they're in it, 10 times a game. So you got to get people to third down. On offense, it's not just a percentage, it's Sometimes on offense, people will say like, we're 50%. Yeah, but you were 11 for 22. You can't be in 22 third downs and win college football. You got to be 4 for 8. So the numbers are good, but defensively, I think those three things are the areas that we're really working on. You need a 4-man rush.
How's that going?
I don't know. I have to watch today. Like, it's really important. It's been really good up until today. I'm gonna have to go back and watch, and see how it was today. But we have the guys who can do it. We have guys who can rush. The Jamaris, the MJs. Like Chief Borders is probably the most improved player on our team. I'd say through camp. I mean, Chief has like, what? I can play, and he's a problem out there. So I think we have the guys to do it. It's just constantly getting great at it.
You have almost 100 scholarship-type players on your roster, and the transfer portal is open, it's been open, and not one player has entered the portal. And I know you still got a week left of spring or whatever, but not one guy has entered the portal yet. What do you think it says about the culture of your program that you have all these talented players, you have them all competing, and not one of them yet has decided to leave or look?
Well, I mean, why would you go somewhere else? I mean, you have the best facilities in college football, and elite education, the best academic services I've ever been around, elite life skills and player development, the best nutritionist in football, one of the best strength coaches I've ever been around, elite sports science, elite medicine. Coach, you want to go to the NFL? You have a bunch of coaches who've been to the NFL. Why would you go anywhere else? You have the best fan base in college football, the best media base in football. I'm serious. You're gonna get. I mean that sincerely. You're gonna get covered here. Like sometimes kids will say, I'm thinking about this. I'm like, all right, go play in front of 25,000 people and play in obscurity. Like, I wish the teams we placed, I like to listen to their player interviews. No one else, make sure you guys know you have a good too, but our players have a good. No one else has 5 players every Tuesday and Wednesday getting interviewed. So when you come here, you're getting those opportunities to build your brand. What's that they call it now? Build your brand. You're getting opportunities to get yourself out there. We have guys that might do a radio show. They might do this. Again, why would you go anywhere else? You have everything you could possibly want here. There's 2 conferences that are dominant in college football. You're playing in them. It's all right here. So it might be right for some people, and I say that all the time, right? But our job is to make this an elite place. And again, so many often people, the player, the people that love them, they get so caught up in, am I going to play, the opportunity? And I always say, are you being developed to be a pro? Your time will come. Are you being developed to be a pro? There's so many kids that go into the portal and schools recruit them with promises really just to be a backup. People are like, hey, we really need a backup. We really need a backup right guard. And then they leave a place where they had it really good and they go somewhere to wear a helmet for a year and be a backup. And some of our guys, if they want, I'm always going to support them no matter what. But we have it so good here. People say to me oh, Coach, I hope you stay. And I always say, well, I hope you say that in 2 or 3 years. But also, why would you leave here? You get to live in one of the best states in the country. Everything's safe here. People are nice here. Other than, a little wind here and there. You know what I mean? I have an easy commute. I got, elite facility. I mean, that building when we finally move in my office is nicer than my first house. So I think it's really important that, I believe in gratitude, to be really grateful for what you have and not spend a lot of time worrying about what other people have. And so I hope that's why the guys haven't gone in the portal. And we'll meet with guys next week. And if guys, Coach, I'm really worried about my playing time. I won't make anybody promises, I won't make promises I can't keep. But I'm sure a lot of our guys will want to stay.
One question about the offensive line. With veterans, you'd expect a degree of consistency. Are you seeing consistency up front on offense?
Yes. Now, it's been hit or miss in the run game sometimes because we create so many issues, and that's why you couldn't see people run the ball against us. We create so many negatives. But I think our protection is getting better and better and better. I think our run game is solid versus a very trying defense. And again, I think we have a lot of guys who are, I've seen a real jump from Gunnar Gatula. I've seen a real jump from Sam Sledge because we're pulling Ben out so much. Justin has to go be the number 1 center, and then Sam has to go in and be the number 2 center, right? And then, unfortunately, Micah's been out all week. So with Micah being out, that gives another guy a chance, right? So, Jacob Hood has been out all week, came back today finally. So we got able to get him some reps. So I think the consistency is getting better. I think the way our defense challenges us is really, really good. I think the offensive staff is really culled back. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Like, we're going to get good at this. And, that's on offense. That's how a lot of our team will go, right? Can we protect the passer? And then can we have core runs to stay consistent? I'm seeing us make a lot of big plays. The question is, can we be consistent? We'll make the big plays if we're consistent.
So Mike, it did.
Michael was, yeah, doctor still has him out.
Did any of the running backs stand out to you today?
Yeah, I think running back's still a position where we're still not making we're still feeling ourselves, or, kind of through on this. There's so much protections you have to do. Emmett, is just so consistent and had a big, huge, explosive run. So that's what I love about Emmett, man. He can protect, he can catch the ball in the backfield, he can run the football between the tackles, he can take the ball outside. He just can do it all. So I was talking to Amon Green as we were walking in because he was watching the scrimmage, and I think Emmett really sort of stands out. So in terms of what he's doing, so. Really pleased with him. Maurice, consistent, running the football, and he's pretty good on most of his protections. A lot of the other guys still, they can do, in our protection scheme, I've got Sean, I've got him, but then I'm also responsible for if the safety comes, and sometimes we miss the safety, and, that's I tell them all the time, if you're playing for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson's making $45 million, how many times do you think they're going to let you miss that before they tell you to leave? So you got to learn it now. So, I think there's some steps to be made at the running back position for us.
Big question mark on the defensive end is kind of that second cornerback position. How's that competing wise been?
Yeah, I think if we played today, Coop might not. I'd have to ask Coop. I think it'd probably be Hill and Hill. Those two guys. Bly looks excellent out there. He's big. He's physical. He's long. He's competitive. He's smart. He pays attention. He focuses. He's got a short memory. He's going against elite level receivers out there. Jeremiah's been banged up, so Jeremiah was in that mix. But again, you got a lot of guys fighting for the job, and that's another kind of like the quarterbacks. That'll go all the way to the season. But right now, if we play today, I think it would be Hill and Hill.
Who led the 99-yard drive?
Who led the 99-yard drive? Was that Heinrich or was that Heinrich or Dylan? I'm not trying to be funny. I really don't remember. Like I said, when you have a 99-yard drive, half of you there's one shoulder celebrating, the other one's like, what the heck is happening here? And you have a turnover, one side's yelling, the fun thing for me right now, honestly, is that all those guys on defense that don't scrimmage, they stand out there with me. And not with me, but they're yelling and screaming, and I'm they're like, we haven't caused a turnover, and I'm like, that's right, baby. I'm talking trash to them. I'm like, that's right, baby. The ball security circuit's working. So, but I don't remember who had it. That's it. Thanks, guys.